guys, and welcome to The Real Road. So this is my final Surviving Actors video, and this one is going to be all about self-taping and advice that I got from casting directors and directors and just like generally loads of industry people about self-taping advice for you. There were a lot of questions asked to casting directors and agents and people in the panels about self-taping, and usually like what constitutes a good self-tape. This is a question that I see every single year, like over and over again. Every workshop I ever go to, people ask advice about self-taping. So I'm just going to give you guys the basics of everything that I have learned from all of the advice I've heard and been given. So here we go. First of all, you need to shoot in landscape. Landscape is this way, it is not this way. Do not do it like you're on social media. It needs to be like a good old YouTube video or movie. So landscape is how you want to film. Secondly, you need good lighting. I have a light above my camera right now to light up my face so that you guys can see my face and all of my expressions. Yeah, have good lighting. If you don't have good lighting where you are, then yes, it's something you're going to need to invest in. So self-tapes are becoming more and more normal and more popular because they save time, and they also give casting directors and directors the opportunity to see more people, particularly because they don't have to always hire out rooms to have actors come in and audition like for roles in. So it's actually cheaper, so it saves them money as well, so they can actually see more of us. They're not so constrained, which is only going to be a good thing, guys. So yeah, okay, it's a little more expensive for us because we have to invest in a few bits and bobs, but you can get these things without spending a fortune. You need a tripod for sure, because you need something to prop your phone up on. And I say phone because your phone is probably good enough to film your self-tapes on. They're not looking for a masterpiece with perfect editing. They are looking to see your face clearly and watch your performance clearly. Okay, so your phone is probably fine. So tripod, phone or camera, whatever you prefer to use. Then a light or two lights, or depending what you want to do. You could get a ring light that goes around your phone. You can get a static light that stands there, or something from either side so that you're not having half your face in shadow. It's really up to you guys. Casting directors do prefer natural light as well because it makes you look good and your skin is a natural tone. So if you can film in natural light, then ideally go for that. But if, like me, you spend most of your life running around like a headless chicken to make ends meet and continue working, auditioning, going to festivals and all that, it's not always possible, especially in the winter. So I would invest in a light as well. That being said, when you are filming in natural light, if again, like me, you have a place where you only have a window on one side or directly in front, you're going to get weird shadows. So you might want to add a light on just a low level setting just to sort of counteract any of those shadows or to make yourself stand out a bit more. The next thing is a plain background. You need a plain background. So for me, for example, this wall behind me is white and blank. And that is because when I do my self-tapes, I just put my tripod higher and I stand up for it so that you can't see anything behind me. Backgrounds are distracting, and this has been said by a lot of casting directors. Some of them will watch endless tapes all day long. They're very busy, and some of them do get very distracted by the background. What is going on? What's on that poster? Why is there a cat running around? Like cats are cute, they all admitted that. But yeah, basically try and find a plain background. Doesn't have to be white, just has to be plain and something that you don't sort of disappear into. Yeah, so for example, if you've got dark hair standing on maybe like a brown or black background, would not be the best choice. Also film indoors if you can, because if you're outside, just traffic noises, birds and other kind of things is also quite distracting. So unless your kind of scene is set outside in a beautiful garden with the birds twittering, probably go indoors because the environment is easier for you to control that way. So yes, plain background and ideally inside. Other things that are really important for self-tapes is good sound. Again, my phone records sound perfectly clearly. I just make sure I do it in a quiet room or ask the people that I live with to be quiet for a little while. They usually understand. You need a reader, okay? And you need someone to read opposite you, to read in the other lines, okay? Now some casting directors say if you're desperate you can record and read opposite yourself, but others don't actually really like that. They've said find somebody to read opposite you. Ideally you want to find maybe like one or two people that you could have as like reading partners, and get used to helping each other out or having them help you out for tapes so that you kind of build up an understanding of what's required for it. That being said, another tip for this is that your reader is going to be quite close to the camera. So they're going to sound quite loud. So it will be better for you to ask the reader to speak more quietly than you are, so that the microphone picks you up better and they're not sort of like booming down the microphone. Self-taping is cool because you can literally pick your best take. So do a good few takes and then pick the best one. If you're asked to send more than one take in, make sure they're really different, is something that they really did say. You don't want to send two of the same thing because they're going to be like, why am I watching that? Make two very different choices if you are asked to send in more than one self-tape scene or like take of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it on self-taping. Good lighting, good sound, plain background. They kind of want this, like head and shoulders. They don't really want full lengths for the actual scenes most of the time, unless they would ask for it. If you're doing a commercial, they may ask you for a slate. I did not know what a slate was when I first started the industry. It's something I learned as I went along. A slate is basically a full-length shot of you standing, sort of turning to one side, looking, turning to the other side, looking, and maybe do a smile so they can see if you've got good teeth or not. It's basically so they can see what you look like, your entire profile. This is usually used for commercials, and if it is for commercials, it's usually good to throw in a quick "these are my hands" shot as well, just in case they need that. A lot of casting directors want these slates and they will ask usually for them, but if it's an American casting, particularly for a commercial, I would just do one and send it to your agent. They can always not put it in if needs be. It's better to have a slate and not need a slate than to be like on your way to work having finished your self-tape and they go, oh, can you do me a slate? And you're like, damn it. This is kind of tricky as well because I find slates quite difficult to do because my flat is full of things and I don't really have a plain background, and obviously filming it in landscape and trying to get the whole of me in, it's kind of tricky. So I've done my slates outdoors every now and then and sometimes I will just sort of if I find a place that's good to do a slate with good lighting, I might just get a slate filmed and then update it like every month or two, just so I kind of have a set slate that I can just sort of throw in into the bundle, so to speak. Another thing about sending yourself tapes, name them. Like, seriously, label them. They've said that this is something people just don't do. Like, put your name and the role as, like, the file name so that they know who you are. Because what's the point in doing all that work if they don't know who you are? So, yeah, rename your files, people. Rename your files. Another thing is that if you're doing two takes, they kind of don't want them back to back in the same video. They want you to do one file and another file and then like send them across, and the same would be with the slate as well because they can always sort of stick them together, or even potentially your agent might ask you to stick them together. So keep hold of them but send them as separate files, not as like one long piece. Yeah, that's pretty much it on self-tapes. Self-taping is a good thing because it gives us so many more opportunities, and not only that, but you'll be able to cast for things that aren't in this country. So if you're in the UK, you can cast for stuff in the States or like Australia, New Zealand, anywhere. And if you're in the States, then you can, again, cast for things anywhere else. So it just gives us so much more opportunity than what we had before. We had to wait to be called into a room and there was like the tiniest number of spots. So yeah, embrace self-taping, guys, and get good at it is kind of the best piece of advice that I got from that. Thank you so much for watching. It's been really, really good to go back and do all of the social media takeover for surviving actors and just to get more advice that I can share with all of you guys. I hope you found the advice useful. I would love to know what you think, so please do chat with me in the comments below, and if you haven't yet, do give me a subscribe. We're pushing the little subscribe button. I would very much appreciate that. Also, if you've got actor friends that you think would benefit off this series of videos, then please do share them around. The advice is for all, and hopefully it will make everyone's life a little bit easier and this career a little bit less complicated. Thank you guys. Bye.